and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are live!
Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, that's my favorite show. Yep. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
Oh, did we all need that one tonight? It wasn't without pain, but we'll take the W. How we doing?
What up, Deuce?
Hey, happy Monday night.
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Thank you.
Let's go, Kane.
Goodness. Sabonis goes down, but you get the W tonight. 132 to 122. The start of a grueling 7-game homestand, and the Kings get it done on the home floor, beating the Memphis Grizzlies, who are playing without Ja, Scottie Pippen Jr., Santi Aldama, some key pieces.
Some
no
key
doubt,
pieces.
No doubt. But Sabonis pretty key piece too. I played what?
No, key
12
piece.
minutes? 12 minutes tonight?
He's a key piece too.
How about Jake LaRavia?
Funny how you said that. Jake LaRavia.
Yeah?
What?
Is there something there?
No.
I didn't know if you were you in the lab cooking up a song?
Like, what song was that?
Were you in the lab with the pen and the pad?
I was not in the lab because the lab is in the car driving to San Francisco and driving back from San Francisco.
Man.
And I was not driving to San Francisco today.
Did Deuce just keep the jacket on and take it off for effect when he went live?
I feel like, yeah.
That's my pick up on the gimmicks, okay?
Sometimes he puts a jacket on just to take it off.
Hey.
Hey, I'm the jacket guy.
Jake, the snake, LaRavia.
Oh.
Even Devin Carter. Hey, man, if you're going to be clinking free throws, you better steal the ball and make something happen. 4 thefts tonight. The bench stumping.
Thefts.
Oh, man. I just bask in it for a second.
Okay.
A quality win on the home floor. How's it sound, huh?
Say it again.
A quality W on the home floor.
But Sabonis went down, and it's probably not good.
So, didn't ask you to say that.
Sabonis, I mean, what's the best case? Like a week?
Stop giving. We're not speculating.
Dr. Deuce, I'm just seeing with my eyes.
I mean, we don't know how many ligaments are torn. We don't know if there's.
Hopefully none.
I mean, I don't know.
Now you're speculating.
An ankle isn't supposed to go that way.
Appreciate you guys for being here tonight.
Give me a hell yeah!
Biggest thing you could do is hit the thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Our chase is on for 100,000 subs. A challenge put forth by Morgan Reagan. You can't let her down.
We're only at 20,000.
Chase for 100,000 starts tonight after this Kings win.
Give me a hell yeah!
Still not my bit.
Oh,
His bit.
man. So, yeah, hit thumbs up, subscribe, all that. Let's give some shout outs to the basketball sickos who are here late on a Monday night. For those who did not tap out, you know, some people tapped out after the last game. They tapped out that, you know, I can't watch for a bit. And I get it. People have to do it sometimes, but
get it.
These are the sickos. Shout out to Adam, to Michael, Rashad in the building with Christie and Adam, Boss Up Productions, Banta, Dennis. What is up, Carly? Colin is in the chat. Jamar. What's up, Parker? Jesse, James, Adam, Oberon, Jake, Sack Up, Perp Beam. See live, bro. Appreciate you, Perp Beam, in the building.
Berm.
Those are just one of the many basketball sickos, including Smoofy Tunes. Don't forget about Michael Morgan. Say hi to Bad News Sour Grapes for a second.
Hi to Bad News Sour Grapes.
D-Fall. Appreciate you guys.
Give me a hell yeah!
You all right?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
No, you're not fantastic because now you get some fog. Oh, the Kings back at home. They needed a W tonight. And tonight, they faced some adversity. Sabonis leaves in the first after getting hit in the head. And then the bench mob came in. It was 27-26. They closed on a 10-0 push because LaRavia had a revenge game. The steal, the jam, the stare down. And how about the rookie, Devin Carter? Oh, DC, we haven't seen a lot from you this year. But DC said, I'm going to make shit happen tonight.
Oh, is that what he said?
4 steals off the Kings bench. He got the job done. Devin Carter! 37 points from the bench. We needed every bit of that, you know?
Yeah.
Give some love to Trey Lyles.
Oh, yeah.
Big JV and Keon, too.
Good song.
And how about Malik Monk? Welcome back, Malik, with 28, 35 assists in the game for the Sacramento Kings. And a much-needed W tonight. Shorthanded, no Domas Sabonis, and the Kings put up 132 on the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll take it. We'll take it.
What will we take?
The W. You know, I was really in my feelings after last game against the Suns.
After the last few, but go on.
And I was going back and going, what was the vibe on our podcast? Like during the fun run and 2 years ago when they won 48 games.
Jesus, you went back
Yeah.
and watched. Okay.
And I went back and I saw all the fog that we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because you never covered your face. That you used to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
soak it in.
And remember what happened?
just-
And remember what happened? Tell me. Do you remember what happened?
You're here, right?
I'm alive, but do you remember what happened?
You claim it may have impacted your throat.
No. I never claimed that. I got a really bad sinus infection. And I don't know if you know this. Part of my job is to actually talk on like a broadcast. And it ruined my voice. And then we're like, oh my gosh, I have a sinus infection. Like that's what it ended up being. And then we're like, how did I get a sinus infection? Randomly, someone said it could be the fog, like fog machines in a small closed space. And we're like, let's look it up. Boom. And I was sniffing up a lot of fog.
I'll ask Chatty later, man.
That's gross.
What?
Chatty.
My friend Chatty, man.
You got-
GPT.
You gotta stop that.
I'm close with GPT. The Deuce and Chatty GPT pod. Could be the future, man.
Have fun.
We don't need you anymore.
It doesn't breathe in fog. Jesus, looking at all this fog.
That's
Can I
great.
turn on the fan?
I mean, no, it's cold.
I can't breathe.
You can't breathe. You're talking, you're breathing. So you know that's a lie.
Okay, then I'm gonna do the podcast like this.
Okay, you hate being cold. You hate being cold. So turn on the fan. Great idea. Turn on the fan. And then in the middle of the podcast, you're gonna have to turn it off.
That's fine.
Cool. Great. Morgan bringing the vibes tonight.
Give me a hell yeah!
Bring in the vibes.
Oh man.
Oh,
Hey, cheers with us. huh?
cheers, dude.
Okay.
Too much?
Is there a helicopter above us right now? My goodness. Let me hold down the papers and my phone's about to fly. I mean, whoa! Are you serious right now? It just flew.
This is the stupidest bit, and I'm laughing like it's a 5-year-old. God damn it. It's fine, just for a little bit.
All right. Deuce and Mo. We're coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast, recording this on a Monday night. The start of a crucial, brutal 7-game homestand kicked off at Golden One Center. The Kings come limping home after getting beaten up and punked by the Suns. How are they going to respond tonight on the home floor against the Memphis Grizzlies, playing without Ja Morant, Scottie Pippen, and Santi Aldama? That was going to be critical. Could they get off to a good start? Check that box. They did just that. They lost Sabonis early. He got hit in the head by Kennard. He's bleeding, probably needs stitches, comes back in the game in the second quarter, but then left early in the third, which was kind of ugly. Early in that third quarter, twist that right ankle. We don't know what that's going to look like going forward, but the Kings still responded in a big way, got red hot from downtown in the second half, knocking down 13 of 20 from long range in the second half, and beat the Memphis Grizzlies tonight in Sacramento, 132-122. Zach LaVine with a big night. Malik Monk with 28, and the Kings bench play superb as they get the win to improve to 34-33 and snap a 4-game losing skid and get ready for a big back-to-back with Cleveland and Chicago coming to town. This podcast presented by our friends over at Sentivo Vineyards and Winery. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
Drink it in.
Drink it in.
The win. The win. And the wine. But
yeah.
the win.
Try not to think about the Sabonis thing because it did not look good. Sabonis leaves this game early in the third quarter, twisted that right ankle, and he was in tremendous pain, had to be helped off. And, you know, the cameras caught him going back through the tunnel. It looked like he might have went down to the ground, like he disappeared from the picture for a second. We don't know what his status is going forward. I can't imagine we're going to see him play anytime soon. We'll see what it looks like, and hopefully it's just not as bad as it maybe looked out there and his reaction. But he did not take the free throws after that.
No.
He left the game, did not return.
No.
So it's an interesting time for Sacramento because you want to like celebrate this awesome, great win for the Kings. They needed it so badly, but Sabonis could be out for a period of time.
Yeah. And that's where you're at. And sometimes I mean, look, it can get really tough, but they played some good basketball still without him in there, and especially going up against some bigs in this game. I look at a game like this and some other games that they've played without Sabonis and go, okay, like, you know what you need to do. If you lack certain things, what can you do to fill that void, especially with 16 more games left? 16. And I say that with a lot of confidence, too much confidence in some ways, because you always feel good after a win. But again, it's their style of play in these wins that just make you believe, like, yeah, if you all just lock in and do your job, whether Sabonis is out there or not, Sabonis is going to make you better 1 billion%. But if he's not out there, what can you control to make sure you're still playing basketball the right way? And I guess that's where my mindset's already at.
Yeah, and they played without him recently. That's the other thing.
That's
he
why.
missed 6 games. Yep. You had some good in there. You had some bad in there. By the way, Morgan, I know you turned on the fan for the fog, but it's now 22 degrees in this room. I mean, my goodness.
Hey, remember when you took off your jacket? You can put it back on.
It is freezing
Your
in
jacket's
here.
right here.
It's off. Once the jacket's off, I can't put it back on.
Okay.
It's part of the bit.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about how the Kings responded. And this is one of those games that I think Kings fans love to see the response, but at the same time, there's a part of me slightly frustrated because when the Kings have looked good recently, they've looked awesome. Like tonight, I thought offensively they looked really strong. The ball movement, they're getting into the paint. They were knocking down their shots. They're playing with good pace. Defensively, they were engaged. I thought were matching the physicality of Memphis. Did a great job getting steals. You see what you did tonight, and you're just like, okay, like, can we more of that type of effort?
That's it.
The shot making wasn't even there in the first half.
No,
and they were winning.
That shot making wasn't even there. You saw someone like Desmond Bane go off, especially in that second half when he just was making every single three. He finished the game with 44 and was 7 of 7 from beyond the arc. My point to that being is usually when you see that from one player on an opposing team against the Sacramento Kings on their home floor, it's like things didn't go well. You know, they couldn't stop one guy and everything else fell apart. For the Kings, there's no reason why they can't play this same style every single night. And Doug Christie said it before the game. He says damn it, I hope I get it right. It's process over outcome. And what I loved is because that's what I kept saying to you when I kept talking about the losses against the Denver Nuggets and against the LA Clippers. I said, look, that's part of like the learning experience and like growing is playing good basketball, even in these losses. Like that style, that is you. That is who you are, that process. And then these last couple of games, Doug was like, that process wasn't us. So what was it? You see tonight's game and you go, okay, I believe this is what they can be more consistently. Even if everything isn't just going to be like perfect. But like we just said, the shooting wasn't perfect in the first half. And they still did other things to play basketball the right way as a team.
The bench tonight was everything.
Tell me about it.
It's the type of energy you need. You know, it was 27-26 nearing the end of the first quarter. The Kings closed on a 10-0 run, and it felt like LaRavia, Devin Carter, Keon Ellis were just wreaking havoc out there defensively, playing the passing lanes, being physical too, right?
Yeah.
Getting after the ball, forcing turnovers. Memphis, I believe, had 12 turnovers at the half in this game. And some of it was like sloppiness from Memphis, like they didn't do a good job. And that's been an issue for them this year. But I thought from the Kings' perspective, a game ago against Phoenix, the Suns literally did not feel the Kings at all. Tonight, it felt like in those moments, the Kings were felt by the Grizzlies.
Yes.
What stood out to you about what LaRavia and Devin Carter brought tonight?
The presence, the physicality, the desire to want the basketball, the urgency, the like all of the all the cliche words / to every single thing that you saw with your own eyeballs on every single possession. How many times do we say, okay, it's got to be every single possession that you're playing like this? That's what you saw. You saw these guys playing like I might not get another minute. But you also saw someone in like Doug Christie going to his bench and trusting some of these guys. And they also kept earning some of those minutes because they were doing the things that they were supposed to be doing. You look at someone like Devin Carter, like you mentioned, it was 3 steals in under 5 minutes in that first half, I think it was.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, sure, it was 3 steals. It wasn't just the way that Memphis was playing. It was the tenacious defense and relentlessness of Devin Carter getting up in these guys. And I just am like, Memphis is a good team, one of the best offensive teams in the NBA in so many different categories. And they've done that without Ja Morant on the floor. You're telling me that you can't play like this type of tenacious defense against every single team every single night?
Yeah, just trying to
my
make
mind keeps going. Sorry.
life more difficult.
Yeah.
And it should be noted, Memphis coming into this game, they played 25 games without Ja, 15-10 without him.
There you go.
They're now 15-11 after tonight's loss. But I also thought like not having Scottie Pippen Jr. was big for Memphis. Like,
Yeah.
they needed his presence out there. Same with Aldama, who has the ability to stretch the floor, and with the Kings, they don't have a ton of size. Like they were definitely impacted tonight by those guys being gone.
But with those guys being gone, it didn't screw with the style that the Kings were playing, right? Like it didn't matter if it was Desmond Bane still going. You still saw a hand contesting in his face almost every single possession for Desmond Bane, and he was still incredible. But the Kings didn't let that deflate them either.
Desmond Bane had 20 points in the third quarter.
Jesus.
4-4 from 3 during that stretch. He had 30 of his 44 points in the second half. I'm with you, Morgan. I know I'd probably have to go back and watch, but he did not get many like uncontested looks.
I'm telling you.
Some of the threes he makes, I'm just like, dude, this guy's dead. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? And it's like, do you start throwing 2 at him? I mean,
stick to your game plan. Stick to your game plan because this was one of those nights, like you said, though, where it's like they were more on the shorthanded side. So make sure you're still just playing defense the right way. We've seen how that can go wrong if you try and just throw different things at different times.
And for Jake, it had to have felt good. Like going up against a team that just traded you. You come off the bench, have a big impact. He plays just about 24 minutes. He finished in this game with 12 points. He did foul out. He had 2 steals, 3 turnovers. Not great on that. But you felt his presence out there. And I think that's been such a big... When the Kings have played well, you've seen some of those lineups that feature Keon Keegan and Jake LaRavia, and you see the upside there.
Yeah.
And then you throw someone in there like Devin Carter who can impact the game like he did tonight. You're like, okay, that's exactly the type of shit you need from a bench unit. And so for LaRavia to have that type of size, he knows the team pretty well. He knows kind of their tendencies.
Yes.
It was good to see him just feel good about himself.
No, I loved the way that he played every single time he stepped on that floor. And really quick too, I saw in the chat, I think it was Bad News Grapes, Sour Grapes, whatever, that said like, keep in mind, Ja Morant didn't play tonight. And here, my only thing to that, my only thing to that though, we're not talking about who the Kings played and why they played. We're just talking about the Kings playing well after playing some really shitty basketball. And so when you see optimism in the style of play and the product out there, like even if, again, the outcome isn't what you want it to be, maybe you're not doing this, but I would have been like, okay, they have something. They lost Sabonis tonight. They ended up losing this game, but Deuce, they were playing all out. Desmond Bane just went off, whatever it is. I just feel like this is more to who they are, even when they play some better teams and they're going to lose against some of these better teams. Like that's most likely going to happen. But this is how they have to play every goddamn minute of the game
to have a chance, right?
That's it.
Especially now without Sabonis. So that's going to be crucial for Sacramento. Doug Christie said something at practice yesterday. He was asked if like maybe there's a need to simplify things. And he had referenced when he first took over the team, after the Kings had lost 5 in a row. Remember, he took over before the Lakers game on the road. The Kings lost that first game. And one of the things he did early on was simplify things with that group. Like, hey, all right, let's just get back to playing basketball. We don't need to be running 8,000 different variations of plays. Like, let's play to our strengths. We definitely have sets, but, let's have you guys make decisions out there. And it kind of worked for that group. They kind of unlocked some things, and they got going, right? 1-7 in a row. Doug said yesterday after practice that that's what they just did with this new group. He's like, when you're trying to win games, you're throwing a lot of different things at them. We had to go back and simplify things.
Yeah.
Maybe guys were thinking too much out there. And I felt like tonight, LaVine wasn't thinking. He was playing.
He was just shooting. Decisive.
Dropping dimes. Malik Monk was just playing out there.
Yes.
He looked like much more like himself, someone that we haven't really seen in a while, to be honest. And I thought DeMar made some good decisions as well. I just thought it flowed so much better. I'm wondering if that helped things for this group too.
Well, Malik Monk, I asked Malik Monk after the game because we got a little post-game interview with him, and I asked him about what he said at practice the other day about being able to be that point guard, that starting point guard, but then coming in with that second unit and being much more aggressive. I was like, what was your approach to that? And he said him and Doug had watched so much film together of like where he should pick his spots and where he should be shooting the ball. And that's why I like seeing him be more aggressive, but then also taking that one dribble in and the defense collapsing, just one step collapsing so he can pass it out to Zach LaVine, get it in his shooter's pocket. Zach with a very quick shot, release, smooth, all the different things. It's like you do things right and it's going to work. If you give him a sloppy pass, the defense will recover, right? It's like all those things just matter. And I felt like the Kings were doing all those things so much more sharp.
Yeah, the execution was there. And it felt like it was keeping it simple. I'm sure Taylor Jenkins after this game is going, our on-ball defense was not good enough. And it probably wasn't, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt like the Kings took advantage of that. They got in the paint a lot tonight, and they were able to spray out. I mean, how many times do we hear that from Mike Brown? All right, we got to get those spray threes. Most teams want that in today's game. You want to get in the paint, collapse the defense, and make a play, right? And the Kings got so many open looks from downtown tonight. In the first half, they couldn't knock them down. I think they were 7 of 21 in the first half. In the second half, 13 of 20.
Yep.
They end up knocking down 20 of 41 from downtown, 40 8% in this game. You mentioned LaVine. He was 5 of 8 from distance. Malik was 4 of 8 from downtown. You got 3 of 6 from DeMar DeRozan, 3 of 8 from Keegan, and even Keon Ellis knocking down 3 of 6. Shout out to Jake LaRavia. He was 2 of 4 from downtown. So they were just creating great looks. And some nights those won't fall, but it's about getting the good looks and trusting that your shooters can knock them down. It looks so much better. Someone was referencing the play at the end of the first half tonight where LaVine got that open look from 3. And I text you that play. It was so beautiful. It was just so, and it was simple. This DeMar DeRozan milking the clock at the end of the first half. LaVine goes down to set a pin down for Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
And Sabonis is going to come up to set a screen for DeMar. Well, what was great about it, the pin down, like they just conceded the switch. So Edie switches on to LaVine, and LaVine just pops out, and DeMar gives LaVine the ball. Edie's not coming out to try to block that shot. LaVine got a clean look, knocked down the 3 at the end of the first half.
My favorite thing too is when you text me these things.
Yeah.
And you're just your joy comes through the entire text, right? Of just like simple, beautiful basketball being played in that moment, and that is all. You're just like it's not the dunk highlight. It's not the other things out there. It's literally just like execution in the half court or wherever it is. And I love that you text that to me because I was just like, yeah, that's stood out. Like there was just so many moments where the ball was swinging the right way. And
that's a great example that, like, again, I know DeMar is going to go ISO mode, and that's fine. He didn't do that as much tonight.
Yeah.
I felt like he was making quick decisions, pushing the pace. And that was a great example.
Thank you.
I know we could pick our spots. You don't have to go ISO mode at the end of the quarter. You could still look to get a good shot. And that was a great example of it, right? It was LaVine setting that pin down, getting the switch, Sabonis coming up in the 2-man game, and it leading to an open shot. Beautiful.
Well, that was
execution.
Something I said about DeMar DeRozan tonight. I just felt like he allowed the flow of the game to come to him too, because he can get you a bucket when he needs to. But I also felt like in those moments, the team wasn't just standing still. He was finding his balance of when he needed to get a bucket and be aggressive, also while still finding his teammates, like you already mentioned with those. Oh, they put him down for 8 assists.
Who's that?
DeMar DeRozan.
Is that what the update is?
The update.
I had 9 on
I know. I had 9 earlier.
I'm going with 9.
Okay, we're going to go with 9 assists. So DeMar DeRozan having those 9 assists.
Well, 22 of the 35 assists tonight came from Monk, LaVine, and DeRozan.
I mean, it was fantastic. They have the ball in their hands the most, but then they found the balance for the right decision. And that's not going to happen every night for all of those guys, but can it happen for 2 of those guys on some nights? Can it happen for 1 of those guys on some nights where you're just making sure you're making the right play while teammates are still feeling that same energy, that same flow by also touching the basketball? It's just so good for everyone.
Yeah. A lot to like in this game tonight.
Absolutely.
DeMar had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. You mentioned LaVine. He had 23 points, 6 assists. He was 7 of 11 shooting, 5 of 8 from downtown, and got to the line. He was 4 of 5 from the free throw line. And I felt like, there was so much talk about like LaVine after last game, right? It's like you need the fourth quarter LaVine that you saw in the final 5 minutes. You need that all the time. And part of that is making sure his teammates have to get him involved early too.
Yeah.
I thought they did that tonight. And being aggressive is not just, hey, get shots up. No, being aggressive is making shit happen in general. And that's what I felt from LaVine. He took shots early. He got his teammates involved. He attacked. Love what I saw from LaVine. And I thought Malik tonight was really strong. He had his turnovers tonight were not pretty. 2 were early in traffic. Another one, he tried to force it on an outlet to Lyles. I didn't like it. But he did so many good things out there tonight. And I thought he was way better defensively.
I completely agree. I don't know what it was for him that clicked defensively. Maybe just even everyone having that trust for one another. Something I'd mentioned in the pregame show was, you asked Doug the other day at practice, like, hey, when no one was going after anyone that was going after Sabonis, when Sabonis got tossed over here or Plumlee went at him. And it can be frustrating. And my point to it was like, I'm not acting like I need a full out brawl from anyone, but sticking up for your guys just shows that you have that trust for each other. You know how we say communicating on defense, it gives you that trust, like someone's going to be there and all these things. I think if that was communicated and talked about between them, being like, you guys have to stick up for your guys, or you guys have to be there for one another. Like once that clicks, that kind of bond and trust will be there a little bit more, even on the defensive end. Trusting where you're going to be on the floor, trusting when you're talking to someone that a screen is coming or that you're going to be in help. And it goes such a long way, even for people that lack certain defensive skills. Want to give love to Trey Lyles because I just feel like that's someone else off the bench that we didn't give enough love to.
Yeah, and with that said, Valanciunas comes in with Sabonis, matched up with Edie, but every time they took Edie out of the game, put Clark in, Doug immediately put Trey Lyles out there, and I thought Trey played well tonight.
He played. I loved his game tonight. 20
How about
minutes.
The pump fake from 3 and put on the floor and jammed it home.
Loved it. He was patient with the basketball. Like he just wasn't. He wasn't like, I'm going to chuck up a whole bunch of threes. Like I think he took that one corner three. Yeah, he was 0 for 1. But the 9 rebounds.
Yeah.
How many times you saw him flying in there, trying to make the extra play? Those are the things that you're supposed to. That is your role. That is what. And if you add even more on the offensive end because you are making your threes or because everything else is feeling good, great. But like doing those things, what it can do for the team, not only creating a second possession, but also just like with that type of energy, it goes such a long way.
Yeah, I liked what he brought. The bench was great tonight. 37 points from the bench in this game. Kings with 11 steals. And how many of those came from the bench? 8 of the 11 came from the bench.
Damn.
Because Devin Carter had 4. LaRavia had 2. Ellis had 1. And then you had 1 from Trey Lyles. The Devin Carter one where the free throws, right? He's not a good free throw shooter.
No.
So frustrating. But he goes one. I think there was a play where he went up for that nasty jam.
That was it.
Oh my God.
He was trying to catch a body. I asked him about it after the game too.
So he makes the first, misses the second, gets the steal, and then boom, finds JV for the jam.
There you go.
Love that shit.
That was the plan all along. Make it more points. There you go.
What did he tell you about the free throws?
He literally, I was like, oh, you tried to catch a body, and then at least you got to the free throw line. He's like, yeah, but I'm about to go shoot free throws right now. Like, just basically like, I can't be missing those kind of thing, and it's something I need to work on.
Oof, 2 of 6 from the line tonight.
Yeah.
Kings were 20 of 30.
I don't know what it is too. I mean, like, I don't love his shot, but when you have kind of a weird release and it's like high arcing like that, you can find a muscle memory that works for you. Even it could be two-handed and you could find anything at the free throw line that works for you. For Devin Carter, I don't know what it is, if it's just like a mindset, because he's very confident in himself, but at the free throw line, something else is not clicking.
Yeah, I don't think he shot it well in college either last year. So I think that's been kind of a thing with him. I'm looking at the updated stats too. I don't know if this is totally current because the NBA, as we know, always updates these things later. But at the moment, Jake LaRavia, 4 deflections in this game tonight.
Not surprised. Love the way that he's been utilizing his length as a defender in the passing lanes.
Yep.
The impact.
Keegan too. Keegan had I loved Keegan's game
I know.
tonight.
Same.
Double, 16 points, 10 rebounds.
Well, and he started on Jaren Jackson Jr., right? Yeah. I just love that he can start on a big. He can, extend out on anyone, whatever. What?
I'm not going to pretend to be a Grizzlies expert. But
Okay.
I'm just like, if I'm Jenkins, I'm going, Jaren Jackson, to me, could have feasted on the Kings inside. And Keegan did a good job trying to make him work.
Yeah.
But when Jaren Jackson put that ball on the floor, even with good defense, he could finish over the Kings. It's just, he's, for as talented as a player as he is, man, if he just went hard in the paint sometimes, especially against an undersized team, I think they missed some opportunities tonight against the Kings front line. That's not massive. I was concerned when they were starting Jaren Jackson and Edie.
Well, it's same. And there's times like even that he'd get in the paint in that short range and just have like a nice little jump hook or a nice little quick get there, boom, high arcing shot, one hand push shot, whatever it is. And all I'm thinking is like people aren't going to stop that, especially teams that have difficult matchups that might not have the exact length. And I just feel like that's something he's worked on with his finesse of his shot and everything. So, yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And I think there's so many ways that they could have dominated more. Aren't they the number one scoring team in the paint?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like even with that, you're going up against a Kings defense that hasn't been solid, but it shows you the Kings perimeter defense was putting on so much more pressure that everyone wasn't just getting where they want. I mean, go back to the Suns game. How many line effing drives did you see in that
and
one?
open threes.
Oh,
that was one of the more disappointing Kings games I can remember the last 3 years.
Might throw up like
just
Tracy
in terms
Morgan.
of execution. Yeah, hopefully Tracy Morgan's okay. I don't know if you saw that.
Dude, why
he was in a wheelchair coughing up blood.
I heard that he had a bloody nose too after, and so I was just like, this is like, at first when I saw the throw up photo, I was like, throw up man. Like, just like, and I'm like, oh my God, Tracy Morgan. Oh my God, there's blood. Oh my God, he's going off in a wheelchair. So hopefully he's okay.
Dude, that's insane.
Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's really random. You brought up right now.
That was just on my mind.
Yeah, looking back at some of my notes too in this game, it's just like first quarter, Jake coming in instantly with a deflection, and then Valanciunas had a block at the rim. You had DC with a steal and a push, draws a foul. Carter with another steal. Jake, 10-0 run. God, I just loved what I saw from this group. And they're going to need a lot of it.
What worked for them in these runs? So it was their defense, right? It was like the presence on defense and then executing either in an early offense or right? Like it wasn't even so much of just making all your threes. It was taking the right shot. It was the shot selection. It was being patient with it. Whatever that is, you have to find a way to do in these last 15 games. In these last 15 games.
In the first half, I want to look at the first half because you were talking about, it wasn't just the Kings in the first half. They did shoot 51%, but they were just 7 of 21 from 3 in the first half, 33%.
Yes.
Memphis had 13 turnovers in the first half that turned into 14 points.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. These things you can see in certain games kind of get you down. Man, we can't make anything. Man, we can't stop Desmond Bane or whoever, whatever else. And I just felt like the Kings had this presence about them that like nothing was going to affect them. And I felt like that energy, that confidence went into the fans as well. And it was just like people were roaring. It was so loud on a Monday night. That shit's so fun to see. But again, it was just Jake LaRavia doing the little things and people were going wild.
Something you brought up earlier that I forgot to bring up. You brought up last game where like no one was standing up for Sabonis. Sabonis didn't stand up for himself.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, when Sabonis and Kennard's heads collide, and Sabonis just like bleeding from the eye.
Okay.
LaVine was heated. And I don't know if LaVine thought he elbowed him or whatever, but he was yelling. I was like, good. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if you're wrong. Just have your guys back a
Yep.
little, whether it's frustration at the Grizzlies or the officials. I don't care.
Yep.
I like seeing that in that moment.
That's it. It's you don't have to be irrational with it. Like, of course it could be a mistake, but obviously there's some sort of physical play that happened that probably didn't go right. And that's where you do have to make sure you are communicating, sticking up for your guy or whatever it is, because that just goes such a long way. It's human interactions. It's trusting one another. And when you are out there on the floor, when you're running backwards, when you're going to the rack, whatever it is, like you need to know that your guys are there to help you out.
No doubt. I have another player remembered.
Who did you
From
remember?
LaRavia, because we're talking about the steals. How about the sequence where I think it was Malik who got blocked by Edie, late shot clock. LaRavia comes up with a loose ball, goes out to the 3-point line and launches a 3 and buries it.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it like one dribble off balance or something? Yeah.
Dude,
wild.
I love that shit.
I know.
That was great. Zach Edey, by the way, man, when they went up against him, he is just a brick wall. He's just so big.
He's so tough. When him and Jonas Valanciunas got into it for a second. For a quick second.
Did they?
Just for a quick, like, it was like the...
Oh, Edey's a son of a bitch, dude. Like, and I, by the way, like his game physical, like,
yeah.
I like his chippiness, but there's one play Valanciunas was posting him up, and dude, he was just boom.
Yeah.
boom, like forearm right into Valanciunas' back. And of course, JV wasn't backing down. He's like, okay, that's cute.
Yeah, like, oh, did somebody open a door?
I think actually what happened on that play, then the defense came over. It was like 3 guys around Valanciunas, and he kicked it out, and Monk hit a 3.
Yes, I definitely recall that. Yeah, and just again, not backing down. That's great to see because there were a lot of frustrating physical plays too, where it felt like the refs were not giving the Kings the call, and then some little weird things would happen and they would give the Grizzlies the call. And I was like, okay. But then the weirdest one was when Jake LaRavia's 6th and final foul
on the Jalen Wells 3-point attempt.
Yep. And it just looked far too familiar to.
Bro, the consistency. This is the thing that people get frustrated with.
I know.
You know,
so bad for the NBA.
So he fouls Wells on the 3-point attempt. It looked like he got the ball, and he's hot after because he just fouled out. He doesn't think it's a 3. He, waves his hand. Of course, official took the call. Okay, no emotion allowed in the game.
Draymond can wave, get up in your face,
Yeah.
do whatever shit he needs to do.
Jake LaRavia, one little wave. I don't even know what he said, but probably bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, let's tee him up.
He wasn't talking about your mom. Like, get
So
out.
they challenge it. Of course, they come back and go, actually, there was a foul on the play. He hits the ball initially, then made contact with his forearm. And I'm like,
That's the
okay.
call.
So, yeah, just take the L, ref. Just take the. But with the DeMar DeRozan playing against the Clippers, it's marginal. I'm like, that's not marginal. That's not marginal.
And then the NBA gaslit us and
Yes.
just were like, oh, you guys, because you could see, even though he's coming at this angle, he still marginally clapped the hand and whatever. And it's like that Jake play.
This is my thing with it, and I don't want to be the podcast that complains only about calls that go against the Kings. Okay, because we're not like that.
One play.
Here's my frustration: is just from a basketball fan standpoint. I don't know what a foul is sometimes.
Yes.
And so it's one thing for players and coaches to get upset and complain about the officials, but the NFL had a problem, and it maybe still exists. Not knowing what is a touchdown and what is, it's like, oh, did he complete the process of the catch? And like when you're watching the game, you're like, that's a touchdown.
And it's
then
like
they
the most
slow it down.
impressive catch ever. And
Yeah, but when he flipped over and then it grazed the ground, it's not a touchdown. You're like, it's a fucking touchdown.
Thank you.
It's the same thing here where I'm like, okay, it's marginal in one game, and then here it's not. So let's just get a little consistency. So I know what it is, and it was a shame, and it was a big sequence, right? Memphis is making a push here.
Yeah.
It turns into a 4-point play.
Yep. Not only does it turn into a 4-point play, but yeah, you talk about momentum and everything else. Tell me this: could I be looking too far in this? Do you think Doug challenged it so then he can bring that back to the league and be like, so? Here's this challenge and here's this challenge?
No, because I think they would send it in no matter what.
Okay.
By the way, it was 121-109 when that play happened after the 3 free throws from Wells and the technical free throw. It's cut to 121-113, and you're like, oh, shit. They're going to lose this game. But they did not. I just thought that was a weird sequence. I'm like, I don't know, man. Just seems so off to me.
Yeah. And it's, by the way, it's like you said, it's not about complaining about it because who gives a shit? The Kings win, blah, blah, whatever. I don't even care about that. All I care about is knowing from someone who wants to talk about the game the right way and explain and or analyze or break down shit the right way. But how am I supposed to know the right way if it's not consistent?
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
it's frustrating at times. Either way, it did not impact the end result. The Kings got the win. I did want to talk about one thing with LaVine. I thought he made some nice passes tonight.
He did.
I mean, he had like a bullet to the corner that led to a Keegan 3. He had a beautiful look inside to JV in the 2-man game. It was nice to see him do that because I think there are times like, all right, like I need you to do a little more out there from that standpoint. I thought he did a good job with that tonight.
No, he really did. And again, getting that pass in the right spot as a shooter, or just even giving someone the right pass so then they have the opportunity to look for their shot before actually just taking it to the rack, whatever, putting the ball on the floor. It's so important. And when you get that type of pass from a teammate, you're like, you give a damn. You care about me. And I felt like everyone on this Kings squad was mostly passing the ball around the horn the right way where people wanted it. Keon Ellis got it in the shooter's pocket. He finished 3 of 6 from 3-point land with those 9 points as well. I know.
You want to hear some Jake LaRavia after
do.
his revenge game tonight?
I do.
Jake LaRavia with 12 points. We talked about all his big plays. Here he is after the game with Fox 40's Sean Cunningham.
I definitely had it circled, but it was more so just because I was excited to guard, the players that I used to play with, like Dez and Jaren, and I was excited to match up against them. But for the most part, I really just wanted to win the game because we've been losing. So
Zach called it a revenge game.
that's what everyone was saying. It wasn't no revenge game. Like I said, I just wanted to get the win. So.
Yeah. What did it mean just to have that type of performance and a win against a former team?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt good. Like when I first got in the game, it had the quick 6 points, had the dunk, had the crowd going. So like it always feels good, and especially even playing here. Like the fans, they're so loud. Like it's just such a great environment to be able to play in front of this crowd. So just hopefully we can keep that up the whole homestand.
Talk about the steal and the dunk on that. Just the sequence, if you can.
Yeah, I got the steal. I know Dev wanted the ball right there, but I had to fake pass it to him and get my little dunk in because these guys been clowning me that I ain't been finishing my dunks in games, so I had to get one in.
And then those threes in the second half, specifically the one with the shot clock winding down, was that just a yuck and hopefully it goes in?
No. I tell everyone if it's a butter situation, butter means 5 seconds or less on the clock. If it's 5 seconds less on the clock, swing it to me. I'll make the shot, and I did tonight. So there you go.
Butter?
Yeah.
You had confidence in that one?
Yep, for sure.
Did you hear the fans chanting your name at all?
I did when I think I was shooting I don't know where I was, but I did hear it. I did hear on the far side.
How cool is that though? You've been here what, a month?
Yeah.
Calling your
Nah, I
name?
mean it was definitely cool. Like again, just like I've felt so much love from the fan base already, just being here for the short amount of time I have. So it's been great.
You mentioned the dunk. I mean, did you have confidence you were going to finish that one?
Oh, for sure. I had to. I felt athletic on that one.
And I got a great look of that nice little glare towards over the bench. Can you at least explain that one for us?
I just looked at Ja. That's all I did. I just stared. I ain't got no beef with him, but I just stared down at Ja because I got a little dunk, got a little athletic. So
Did he stare back?
yeah. Got a little smile in there. So yeah, it was all good. All love.
And then finally, I mean, obviously, there's a lot going to be made about this homestand, 7 games, upper echelon opponents. The physicality that they came out with, you guys, the way you responded to, does that kind of set this homestand off to the right start?
For sure. Like that's kind of what we're trying to do this whole homestand. Like we know we got some tough games, some tough teams coming up. We're gonna have to play physical the whole time. We got to protect home court. That's kind of we had that written up on the whiteboard before the game. Protect home court. That's kind of what we're trying to do this whole homestand. So
There's Jake LaRavia after the game. I was laughing in the middle of it because Rashad said he sounds like Bubba Sparks.
Why does that make you laugh?
Because he kind of does. It's just funny, dude. Rashawn with the text of the comment of the night nominee right there.
For some reason, the whole when you laughed that hard, I was
Bubba
like,
Sparks.
oh, could he hear what Malik's saying in the background? Like,
I like his confidence, man. I like hearing that from him talking about 5 seconds or less on the shot clock. Give me the
Butter.
ball, butter.
Butter.
Love that shit, dude.
Yep. No, it's nice to see.
Dude, that was good shit,
I
man.
cannot believe that got you.
You don't think that's funny?
I mean, it's fine.
Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. All it does is help our channel grow, dude.
Give me a hell yeah.
We got more of the podcast coming up in just a second. We should mention a couple of sponsors. We have some super chats to get to, too. We got some more stuff we got to get to. But tonight's podcast presented as always by our friends over at Sentivo Vineyards and Winery.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you need a good bottle of wine,
you got to go to sentivovineyards.com. And they have another tasting room opening up in the Fairfield area in spring 2025. So as soon as the weather is good, it will be ready to go. But if you need their wine now, because it's some of the best wine we've ever had. I'm not even a white wine drinker, and their white wine is fantastic. You just got to go to sentivovineyards.com. They're all the best people. They're all Kings fans. Check them out. You can become a wine club member. You can drink up with us after every single post game, whatever you want. Make sure to go there.
Yeah, check out their website today. I'm still laughing with the Bubba Sparks thing. I'm sorry. People are mentioning it in the chat. It's making me laugh. A lot of people think the Bubba Sparks thing was funny. It just caught my attention.
You would like get so mad at me if I went. You'd be like, if I don't find it funny, then it's not funny.
Also presented tonight by our friends over at Golden One Credit Union. We are all one at Golden One, the official credit union of the Sacramento Kings. So many perks to being a Golden One member. Make sure to scan the QR code on the screen or go to their website to see their range of products and services to help start your financial journey today. Plus, how about these perks, Morgan?
What?
Up to 50% off Kings home games through Golden One's online discount ticket portal. It's a big homestand here. 15% off merch when you use your Golden One card at the Kings team store. Morgan, that's how you win as one. Go to goldenonecreditunion.com, the official credit union of the Sacramento Kings. Also presented tonight by our friends over at Medic Ambulance.
We're thrilled to team up with Medic Ambulance, the trusted name in emergency medical services across Northern California. From life-saving responses to being the team behind the scenes at your favorite events, Medic is there to serve. When seconds matter, trust the professionals setting the standard in patient care. Medic is the official emergency medical response partner of Sac Republic and Sac State Athletics. Learn more at medicambulance.net.
Also, go to deuceandmo.com, click on merch to get our merch. We have so much merch. Crew necks, hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, kids' clothing.
Whoa.
Deuce and Mo logo, even stuff that doesn't have our logo. We make stuff sometimes that, we have the Shop and Light the Beam merch, doesn't even have Deuce and Mo on it.
Yeah.
You don't have to like us to wear our gear. Go to deuceandmo.com, click on merch.
Dude, look at this gimmick.
That's great.
It looks like I have no
It's a good
neck.
gimmick.
Okay, thanks.
We'll get to some super chats in a second, but want to give some love tonight to one of our favorites, Brian Parker. Great guy. He wrote in earlier tonight. Wanted to shout out my brother Casey. He left this world last night. Was a huge Kings fan. My dear friend. Love you, Casey. So rest in peace to Casey, the Kings fan. And Brian, our thoughts are with you and the fam. It's
Thinking
never
of you
easy,
guys. No.
but hopefully you enjoy the beautiful beam because he would as well. Reno, appreciate you for becoming a member. Oleg donates $5 saying, great team effort win. 20 for 30 free throws was not good.
Hey, you can just keep it positive, huh?
Shout out to LaRavia, who donated $10. What did you think of that inconsistent 3-point foul call in the fourth in the Clippers game? That was incidental. Any thoughts on fixing these inconsistent calls? I don't know. I mean, I just feel like these situations, they're judgment calls for these officials. And I wish there was more consistency. And I feel like it's a frustrating thing for defenders not knowing how much contact that they can make, what's marginal, what's not. And it's harder than ever to play defense in this league. You don't have the same ability to be physical.
Yeah, I just think, if you are ever hitting someone on the arm, like you're not controlling your body enough. Even if you're like almost getting the basketball but coming down on their arm, like in my opinion, it should just be, if you just make that a foul no matter what. And I know that's more difficult for defenders, but at the same time, it could be really fun for the offense too, right? Because then you don't have to worry about like, is that a foul? Is that not a foul? No, if you're coming across the arm, on the arm, no matter what, it's a foul. So like even tonight, it just would have been a foul on Jake LaRavia. We wouldn't have to guess twice, but then we're not getting pissed off that the other night it wasn't a foul when DeMar DeRozan was getting fouled beyond the arc.
Yeah, I feel that. Also, Bad News Sour Grapes donates in the live chat super chat $5 saying, always appreciate the love you two give us fans. Thank you. Now tell me, what do the Kings need to do to beat the Cavs? That would be a huge win. Be a massive win. Cavs are awesome. They do play tomorrow. They'll be on the second night of a back-to-back against Sacramento. They take on the Clippers. It's a team that has been on absolute fire.
So good. They play together.
They're number one in offense.
Yep.
7th in defense. They've got size up front with Allen and Mobley, a backcourt that's legit. The addition of DeAndre Hunter makes them even better. They're long, they're physical, they play fast, they are unselfish, they've got ball movement. You've got a killer in Donovan Mitchell, Garland too. Yeah, I mean, to beat a team like that, it's like you have to bring your A game Communication has to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Execution has to be. It's just one of those games that you almost have to play perfect.
It's, again, process over outcome. That's what Doug Christie said before tonight's game, and it stuck with me because I understand for some people they cannot stand that because it's victories or you lose and everyone gets fired, and that's just how it should be in sports and the world and everything. And I don't know. I feel like maybe my outlook is more realistic because there's only like one champion out of 30 teams every year. In some people's eyes, like if you're not the champion, then you have failed in all ways, where I just don't see that. If for some reason within the process you grow, you get better, you find different ways to just keep, I don't know, getting better and growing.
Well, yeah, and Orlando beat them yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They had won 16 in a row.
Amazing.
16 in a row. What's Cleveland's record now in the season? 56-11.
They've only, think about cheering for a team that has only lost 11 games. Like, what is that like? That would be, you know what? You get so bored watching so many wins.
They have won 56 of their last 67 games. Think about it that way.
How boring of a team to watch, huh?
Dude.
Right, guys? Everyone agree?
So, yeah, especially if Sabonis
God.
isn't playing, like, that's going to be a massive challenge.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And it's already a challenge. So it's throwing another curveball or whatever you want to call it at you. Again, just whatever you lack, how can you step up in those spaces?
Let's hear from Doug Christie after this Kings law. I'm sorry. I was so used to saying Kings loss.
What a dick.
I'm sorry. After a Kings win. Holy shit.
What we expect as far as the fight, 15 turnovers, still a bit of a work in progress, 35 assists, 41 threes. 26 of those assists came from the starters. Off the bench, Devin, Keon, Jonas, Trey, Jake, spectacular. They all came in and brought the level of physicality, intensity, effort, enthusiasm, all the things that we talk about. So from that standpoint, NBA games are hard to win. So I'm really proud of the way that they approach the game tonight.
Doug, kind of a two-parter. I believe you guys turned them over 12 times in the first half, 9 steals, 4 blocks. Seemed to be really active in the passing lanes, things like that. How good was that to see from the start, like to kind of hit first, like you talk about?
A lot of it is, to your point, is what we talk about, what I showed them, and the things like I said that I did when I first took over, and now that we have a team that is our team for the rest of the year, the last iteration, I guess, as we go through the season, to reestablish all those things and to watch them manifest them was pretty exciting for me. I know that they felt it as well, and I think our fans did as well. Yeah.
Doug, what do you know about Domas's injury at this point, and just how concerned are you for his well-being?
Yeah, I don't know anything yet. I was running my mouth back there talking, and I haven't been to see him yet, and I will hopefully momentarily. But I have not been updated, so but I'm hoping, I've had ankles and different things, so I'm hoping for the best, obviously.
Coach, obviously, speed has always been associated with this team and playing with, at a fast pace. But now it kind of seemed like with the new additions, you guys are being more physical. Being physical, is that kind of a new identity that's being taken?
Well, it's what I want and what I expect. There's a level of physicality that you have to have in this league, or you're just not going to survive. The speed aspect of that is more opportunistic when the moment presents itself. Then when I was on TV, I used to say, when you got a a Lamborghini, and we had one. That's speed. But you can also advance the ball up the floor. That's speed. And then you can also move and cut in the half court, and that's speed. So we can do 2 of 3 of those. And the third one, which is just putting your pedal to the metal, we can do that opportunistically. And whenever we see that, we can do it as long as these turnovers don't go crazy on me.
Doug, getting back to Domas real quick, how did you feel you guys responded each time he went out? Both times critical junctures in the game, but you guys actually, while he's out, you expanded on your lead both times.
Yeah, I think that our unit is a tight unit. Like when I listen to them on the bus, when I hear them on the plane, it reminds me a lot of different times that I know that when you hear that type of conversation and joy and communication, it usually translates to the floor. So when one of their brothers go down, I expect nothing less than for all of them to galvanize and stick together. I thought there was a lot of sacrifice and trust in some of the subs. Like, we need something right now. I'm going to take you out. You're going back in. No problem, coach. Do your thing. The subs are rolling. Everyone back up. Let them roll. They're doing their thing. Like, that's a level of trust amongst teammates that I think speaks to when one of their brethren go down, how they respond to that. Yeah.
There's Doug Christie after the game. The Sabonis stuff, yeah, I don't know. I think it's safe to say he's not playing to Wednesday. Will you actually say that? I know you hate me speculating on injuries. I don't like speculating. It just didn't look good. If he plays on Wednesday, that would be pretty absurd.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be wild.
Okay.
I'd be like, is he a robot? And he's not.
This stretch is going to be tough without him. With him, it's going to be tough without him.
Sure. It's going to be, especially, look, he's only been back for a game and a half, barely.
2.5 games, yeah.
Oh, was it 2.5? What game am I missing?
Did he come back against the Suns? They're all blurring together to me. I don't know why I thought it was like 2.5. I thought he came back for the Warriors game. Did he not? Why am I blanking?
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, it was the Suns game. You're right. It was a game and a half. My bad. Hey,
wow. And
my bad, dude.
Look at me actually like just going, Deuce remembers everything.
You know what?
So this is bad.
I don't want to go this angle, but
Oh, no.
you know what happened today?
What? I thought you didn't.
I didn't tap, but I had therapy today. I'm noticing that on days I have therapy and we do a podcast at the end of the night, emotionally, my brain doesn't fire like it usually does. I'm sorry.
Do you feel like maybe you're also using it as an excuse?
I don't make mistakes. So no, it's not an excuse.
So again, you're human and not a robot. And yes, you can make mistakes and I can be right. And I was right about this. So a game and a half with Sabonis back. And my point to being with that is that I think this team didn't just find their flow back with him because he was out 6 games or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's
2-4 without him.
Yeah.
Those 2 of the losses tough, right? Against the Clippers and
Yeah.
Nuggets.
Yeah. And obviously things are better with him on the floor. But when you are missing something, you are not only professional basketball players, you are a group of good basketball players that can still do other things to help and make things good. Sure, it really sucks not having that weapon, especially when you're going up against some of these really good teams. But how else can you make things happen at a high level without him being there? Maybe you're not going to add his same assists or points or rebounds, but like by putting that pressure on, by having that 50-50 ball effort play, whatever you know what I mean? Like your mind just has to work in different ways when you're missing one of your best players. And I feel like that's always what the Memphis Grizzlies do for the most part when it comes to not having guys. Their mentality does not shift. And I guess that's my point of what you need to do.
It was definitely one of those efforts tonight. You needed everybody. And the defense has been a big talking point after this one because it was a lot better with the physicality. This was after the game. Jawad Williams, Kings assistant. We haven't seen one of these since Luke Locks left.
Wow.
Defensive player of the game announced, here's what went down in the Kings locker room.
We had deflections. That's a season high. Shout out to Keegan and Keon. Both had 2 deflections and 2 steals. Devin, your energy was great coming off the bench. Defensive player of the game goes to Jake LaRavia.
What? Oh my God. Jake LaRavia, defensive player of the game for the Sacramento Kings. But do you hear what they said? Season high 23 deflections tonight.
That's awesome.
A season high.
Again, that different
yes.
different energy, different mentality on that end of the floor. And when you're active like that, causing these turnovers for a team that's really good in so many different offensive categories, you're disrupting what they're used to. You said this to me in a text when I was like, oh, talking about the 2 bigs, like the Kings going up the 2 bigs in the matchup. And you're like, make them play to you, make them adjust to you into your game and don't adjust to theirs. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what they need to do, whether it's that lineup or whoever else is in there. And even what Doug was saying about playing fast doesn't mean you just have the Lamborghini and the one player that can like go. You're playing fast with pushing the ball up the floor, with moving without the basketball, like be fast.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Jake LaRavia gets it done.
I love it.
So next up for the Sacramento Kings, the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Cavs come to town. They play the Clippers tomorrow. Then the Kings have Chicago after that. A couple of days off. And then another back-to-back with Boston and OKC. Each game's a test. And you can only focus on one at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time.
And that was Doug's point too. Just one. It's hard to win in the NBA. Just one at a time. Don't make me look at the stretch. Why? Because I have to still win the game before the next, and there's no point of looking at the stretch.
Would you like to go around the NBA tonight and talk about who
did that?
There is some craziness around the National Basketball Association tonight. Knicks won over Miami 116-95.
Oh yeah.
Thinking about Tracy Morgan tonight after he left the game.
So like again, when I saw the photo, I was just like, oh no. And then seeing everything else and reading things, thinking about Tracy Morgan.
Knicks got the win. So thinking about Tracy Morgan. Houston and Philly. This game was absurd. Houston was up 25.
Oh my God.
With about 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Okay. Up 25. By the end of the third quarter, it was a tie game. I'm sorry. Did I say Houston was up?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, go again.
I messed that up.
Okay.
Philly was up 25 in the third quarter. By the end of the third, it was tied up with Houston. Okay. Of course, they're super shorthanded. Paul George out for the year.
Yeah.
No Embiid, right? No Maxey.
Oh, deflating.
So the game ended up going to overtime, which is crazy. The Rockets won 144-137. I'm going to read this stat line for you tonight. 46 points, 13 rebounds on 15 of 27 shooting, 8 of 14 from 3 tonight. Who did that?
Not Dylan Brooks.
No.
Oh.
Dylan Brooks at 25.
It's going to be like Quentin Grimes or...
Quentin Grimes at 46. Okay, can we have a serious conversation about Quentin Grimes?
He's the best player in the NBA?
What is... I understand, like, hey, increased role now, right? Like, all these injuries. But since he's gone to the Sixers, he was averaging 20 points a game. I'm looking at his game log since going to the Sixers. Tonight, what'd I say? He just had 46?
Yeah.
He had a 44-point game, a 30-point game, a 35-point game, a 28-point game, a 29-point game. Tonight, Quentin Grimes flipping off his former teams, the Knicks, the Pistons, the Mavs, saying, look at me, I can score the goddamn basketball.
The fourth one over.
Thank you. 46 points, 13 rebounds. How insane is that?
That's insane. Especially what he shot from three-point land. You said 8 of 14.
8 of 14.
Wow.
They hit 24 threes in the game and lost.
Well,
Houston winning 144-137 in overtime. Shout out to the Sixers for playing hard despite being shorthanded.
I love it.
Minnesota, their 8-game winning streak coming to an end. They lose to the Tyrese Halliburton-less Indiana Pacers in overtime, 132-130. Here's the stat line for you. 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 of 10 from 3.
Anthony Edwards?
Great guess. Ant had 38 points. 1 of 11 from 3. Ant was 19 of 20 at the free throw line. 19 of 20 at the free throw line for Ant. What a weird game.
That's very weird.
38 points, 19 at the free throw line. 34 points, 10 rebounds, knocking down 7 of 10 from 3. Who did that?
Matherin?
It's a great guess. Matherin had 22. It was Obi Toppin tonight with 34.
Ooh.
Big game for Obi Toppin.
Okay, Obi. No Tyrese.
No Tyrese, and they got the win over
That's
the Wolves, who have been playing
impressive.
great basketball. The Pistons absolutely destroyed the Pelicans, 127 to 81. My goodness.
Zion played?
He did play. He had
Wow.
30 points.
Okay.
There's no good who did
Okay.
that. I mean, I guess I can give you 23 points. Oh, this is kind of funny.
Who is it?
23 points, 7 rebounds, 9 of 10 shooting, 5 of 5 from 3.
Wow. Who?
Simone Fontecchio of the Pistons off the bench. He did that 23 points in 22 minutes.
Damn.
Chicago over Utah. We're going to see them soon.
Uh-huh.
The Bulls win 111 to 97. Also, Obi Toppin had the game winner for the Pacers. Shout out to Mr. Showtime, who alerted us of that. 111-97. How about this stat line? 17 points, 9 rebounds, 5 of 9 from 3. Who did that?
Bulls? Kevin Herter.
Kevin Herter. Red Velvet, 5 of 9 from
Hell
downtown.
yeah.
He's been playing much better basketball for the Chicago Bulls.
Damn. Okay.
The Denver Nuggets tonight go on the road without Jokic and Jamal Murray and lose.
No, and win.
Sorry. Yeah, they won. They beat the Warriors tonight 114 to 105. 20 points on 6 of 21 shooting. Who did that?
Steph?
Steph Curry.
4 rings.
Here's another stat line for you. 38 points tonight. 14 of 23 shooting.
I already know this one. Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon.
Stepped up. And no Brown. No Christian Brown.
No Christian Brown either. Michael Porter at 21. The Warriors were 8 of 33 from downtown. They had 20 turnovers in the loss.
What'd Jimmy have?
Jimmy Butler, 23 points.
Wow. Okay. They just...
Rough night at the office for the old
Damn.
GSW Hoopers. Phoenix, after an embarrassing loss to the Lakers, clapped the Raptors tonight, 129 to 89. Nothing crazy there
Okay.
on who did that.
Uh,
Devin Booker at 27.
Cool.
Portland beat Washington tonight, 112 to 97. Any interesting stats in this one? No.
Okay.
Leading scorer was
Don't force it.
Simons, who had 30. And then the Lakers beat the Spurs tonight, 125 to 109. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Who did that?
Luka.
No, Austin Reeves,
Oh.
the leading scorer for the Lakers tonight. Lakers now 42 and 25. That is
Austin.
who
Did that?
My goodness. Warriors, that's a bad loss
That's
for
a
Golden
very
State.
bad loss.
But also, like, great loss. Great loss.
Love that for everyone else.
No, I just, the Warriors have been playing too good recently that I felt like the media, even like fans that don't like the Warriors, we all
Sure.
kind of needed to just see them lose a game. And to lose a game that did not feature Jokic, Murray, or Christian Brown, that's good news.
Yeah. For our souls, for everyone's souls.
Yep.
That's like, they're not invincible always. Every year, it feels like they find a stretch. Draymond says, we're going to win a championship. And then they like get close to winning a championship or some shit. Like, I can't have that energy. No.
Updated standings, the Kings remain in 9th, and I
Okay.
feel like that's just where they're going to be stuck.
I agree.
Unless they do something that's improbable, get hot, and somehow can get to 8th. But right now, they are 3.5 behind the Clippers, who also have the tiebreaker over Sacramento, so
Dude.
that's tough.
There was a moment where I didn't even know. I thought the Kings were going to struggle to stay in 9-10. And like that can still happen,
It can.
which is like crazy to think about. But you do feel more confident after a win with that style of play.
They have a 2-game lead on the 10th spot. Right now, it's the Dallas Mavericks at 10.
Mm-hmm.
They've obviously been so banged up. They did get some news today. Anthony Davis and Jaden Hardy are going to be practicing with the G League team, the Texas Legends. I'm guessing like that's the pathway to try to get AD back in the fold. And so if AD comes back, what's that look like for that group if he's able to stay healthy? Could Dallas hang on to that 10 spot? But Phoenix obviously still wants it. Phoenix has a grueling schedule down the. You think the Kings schedule is tough? The Suns schedule is tougher.
Which, I mean, yeah, crazy.
So you're going to have to deal with either Dallas or Phoenix in the play-in.
That's where you're at.
It's all right. You know what? One game at a time. I'm not thinking about that.
Good job.
Let's just focus on what lies ahead. But as it stands right now, the Kings are in 9th. The Cavs, by the way, 56-11, the number 1 seed in the East, a 7.5 game lead on Boston for the number 1 seed. That's crazy.
It's pretty. I'm kind of excited to see them play in person coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think
as a basketball fan,
I think they're the best story in the league right now. Up there with the Pistons. The Pistons are up there too.
Fair.
But, Cleveland was good last year. But just to see how Kenny Atkinson has kind of unlocked that group, the ball movement, they've got depth galore. I mean, you're seeing Ty Jerome have an impact off the bench. Like, it just seems like no matter who they go to, you're like, okay, here's this guy coming off the bench and contributing. Dean Wade gives you some good minutes. And you're like, they've had guys in and out at times, but they've got depth. You think about what Evan Mobley's been able to do, Jared Allen. They got defense, they got offense. I just love their offense, how they cut, how they move. It flows so well. And for a team that seemed so stagnant last year, and there was so much talk about, could Donovan Mitchell leave? He wants to go. Could Garland leave? They both stayed. They get a new coach. And they've been unlocked. It's a fun story.
Winning creates a lot of good, a lot of happiness.
But it's just how different they are compared to last year.
No, I completely understand that. I mean, watching them play, their style, everything that you just mentioned, it's like, yeah, it's fun. It's a team sport, and they play like a team on both ends.
Last year, they were 16th in defensive rating. This year, they're number 1. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. The improvements everywhere.
My God. Where are they at 3-point shooting? Number 1 in the NBA in 3-point percentage. 38.8% from 3.
Hand in the face.
Is that crazy or
Get
what?
That hand in the face.
Last year, they were 15th.
Yeah.
Shit can change. And so I think that group gets a lot of credit for how they've been able to put it together in this consistency. So it's going to be a tough matchup. But for me, I like seeing that type of test. Like, go up against the elite. You're at home. Who cares? They're going to be on a second night of a back-to-back. It's going to be tough. Lock the F in.
Well, yeah. I just like it, too. Just as a basketball fan, like, you don't like when the narrative around the team that you root for, that you cover, is just like, they can only beat the bad teams, which is true in a lot of ways. But how they beat the bad teams and how they lose to the good teams also matters. And that's why, like, how you're going to match up and play against this Cavs team that has their shit together is just going to be, I want to say, fun to watch. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but I'm just hoping it's going to be.
LaRavia with another super chat donates $5 saying, my husband Alex listens in the morning when he drives. Can you give him a shout out? Tell him how much you love him. Just lay it on thick. Okay. Coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Alex,
good morning.
Good morning. Rise and shine.
Dude, all I've heard about Alex, great guy.
And the best guy. And like his eyes, could they be any more beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, that's one aspect. It's so funny to try to pick like
a physical.
Yeah, I'm just saying like his eyes pop for sure.
Yeah.
But the jawline is pretty.
Oh yeah,
nice too.
But like, he's the funniest guy ever, and he obviously makes LaRavia so happy.
And he's driving in the morning.
And it's like, what a great guy.
Just driving.
Like,
You know, it's hard to drive in the morning.
It is, and he's doing it every morning.
What a win.
Alex, you're one of a kind.
Oh, Alex, you're the best.
You stunning
We've always said
son of a
that.
bitch.
We've always said that. You were great. The poll question tonight was, who was the player of the game? The options: Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan,
Okay.
Malik Monk, or the bench.
Ooh.
65% of people say the bench.
Wow. And then Malik Monk in second place.
Yeah, with 25%.
Okay.
Who would be your player of the game?
I like the bench. I love the bench stepping up, the depth. Like, I know there's been struggles with things working for everyone, but I feel like for the most part, we've been able to talk about the bench more and more since the trade deadline. And that is encouraging.
My player of the game went to Jake LaRavia.
Oh, shit. You didn't
He's
even
part
have
of the
him on
bench.
there.
I know, but Jake LaRavia and the bench. Because I want to highlight him. Although I just realized the picture I chose of him looks like it's like
A
in
mug
memoriam.
shot?
No.
Yeah, oh.
It looks like Jake LaRavia died. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
why
like,
is it black and white?
Hey, rest in peace to Jake
No,
LaRavia
no,
tonight.
no would. No.
Oh my God.
Well,
there's not a ton of pictures out of him in King stuff. So I just grabbed one I saw.
yeah, and it's dramatic. Maybe there's just a dramatic feel like,
Well,
hey, I'm going to steal the ball from you.
Jake was great tonight.
Great.
12
Great.
points, 2 steals, 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 4 from downtown. He was really alive, and he was our simply the best player of the game presented by our friends over at Northwest Exteriors. They are celebrating 30 years, Morgan. Can you believe it? 30 years.
I can't.
You're about 10 when they launched.
No,
huh?
that's not true.
10 years old when they
No.
launched. Anyway, they are celebrating 30 years with great deals. Upgrade your window system during their 30th anniversary sale. Purchase 9 windows and a patio door for a huge discount. Go to northwestexteriors.com because Morgan Reagan, they are
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
Yeah, was it fine to single out Jake as a player of the game, or do you like the bench more?
One, I have no choice or
Okay.
say. Two, I think that's fantastic. Like, after a win, there's a lot of people that can deserve it. And he's a great choice.
All right, so as we wind down, Morgan, do you have any read on this team?
No.
Someone asked me about this before the game. I think my guy Jeremiah, who covers the Kings, he's like, yeah, so what do you feel about this homestand? I'm like, every time I feel like I figure this team out, they do the opposite. Like, when they fired Mike Brown, I'm like, well, it's over.
Yeah.
Good season. That was fun.
7-game
It's
win
over.
streak.
Then they win 7 in a row, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it kind of falls apart. The Fox thing happens. Then they start stringing it together after the All-Star break. And I'm like, okay, they got it. And then, so I have no real feel.
Yeah. And I think when you try to break down a team that's like good in this league, they can have bad games. But the feel for this team is that they're not a good team or a bad team. They're a team that's just trying to figure out what they can do with a lot of good players. You know, I really believe that they have good players. I'm not acting like anyone is great right now. You know, I don't care if they win again against the Cavs. I'm not acting like anyone's a great player on this team. But when you have a roster full of good players, there's so much you can do to succeed when you play together. And I feel like Doug has done a great job of getting this group of guys to play together well. But now, how you figure out that is your identity and do it consistently at this point of the season, I think it's fair to not have expectations.
Yeah. We've seen some really good. We've seen some really bad. Tonight was an example of really good. And now, at least for the next game, they'll have to do it without Domas Sabonis.
Yeah.
With the right ankle injury. And you think about this, he had the left hamstring. He got hit above the eye. I think he had stitches tonight.
Jeez.
And then he has a right ankle injury that did not look good at all. I think the key here is, I know what Valanciunas can bring. Can Trey Lyles find some consistency this year? And I thought tonight was a good step for him to find that.
Yeah.
But they're going to need him. And if not, they're going to have to go to Isaac Jones, who could be getting a guaranteed deal here in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Yep. And if that's where they're at, this is when you step up in these opportunities.
Let's get to some final thoughts, Mel.
And don't forget JF.
Oh, shout out to JF, super chat for him, who says, Deuce and Mo, y'all got the best style. Sorry I'm broke. Go Mavs, question mark? Nah. Okay.
Thanks, JF.
Are you talking about like from a clothing standpoint or like our style of podcast? I just need some specifics because I love compliments and affirmation. Everyone talks about love languages. Like, hey, there's, what is it, 7?
7 love languages or something? 7
different types of love language?
Yeah.
I'm all 7.
And everyone's like, what's your style?
Acts of service? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Affirmation? Please?
Yeah.
What else?
Gift giving.
Give me gifts.
I don't know yeah, you definitely.
I want all of them.
Yeah.
So like, I need you to be more specific in your super chat next time.
No.
Thank you. Final thoughts, Mo.
Final thoughts.
Could be about anything.
Whenever you say that, I always feel like you have something in mind. Is there a specific final thought you have?
One of my final thoughts. I was listening to the Wicked soundtrack today because I just watched the movie. Great movie, by the way.
You were listening to the Wicked soundtrack?
I try to get inspiration so I can tell you to write a song based on something.
Mm-hmm.
So I may have something cooking for you.
Ooh. So I have to sing one of like the most difficult songs to sing in the world.
You know how to sing. Like, yes.
Okay, that's the thing. That's coming from someone who like doesn't know how to sing a lot. And it's really hard. But hey, acts of love. I'll do it for you.
Thank you. Or is that gift giving? Or that's acts of service.
Sure. Whatever it is.
God, you just need to know.
Do I need to? Do I need to? Anyway, glad you were listening to that.
I didn't say I love the soundtrack. I really like the movie. I listened to it, Stephen Brown.
When Deuce sees a musical that he likes, he goes and listens to the soundtrack.
And now I like 2. Wicked
and Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge, dude. Moulin Rouge is go see Moulin Rouge. You're like, yeah, Deuce, that came out like 10 years ago. Like, go see it. It's great. Go ahead. Final thoughts.
Book of Mormon. Final thoughts. I'm not going into the end of the season with any expectations except hoping to see good basketball down the stretch. It's just way more fun talking about this team and basketball for hours after the game when you're talking about good basketball. Even if it's not the outcome that you want it to be, it could be painful.
And even if you just get to the play-in and get knocked out in the 9-10 matchup and lose your first round pick, just enjoy each moment in the lead up.
And if that happens, like, it is what it is.
We deal with it.
That's the thing.
We've
it's
been
like
through
there's
worse,
nothing.
huh?
Yeah, like there's nothing you can do. So, I mean, we'll all like express our feelings together, absolutely. But at the same time, like, if you're there, you're there.
Enjoy the ride. That's all I can say. I was thinking about this today. It is March 18th now.
Yeah.
Now, because it's after midnight. After midnight. The season's the season's gonna be over in a month.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
And then what? You know what I mean? Like, enjoy these games and
I
let's just
agree.
hope that they play well down the stretch. Maybe they surprise us. We didn't expect a 7-game winning streak when they had a 7-game win streak. I'm eager to see how they handle these tests coming up against some really, really talented teams.
Unlimited. That's all I know for that song.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Isn't that what she sings in that one part?
Maria, I don't know all
You
those
just said you listened to the soundtrack.
I didn't listen to every song.
Unlimited. And she's like, her whole point is like, she's unlimited. She can do anything. The Kings can do anything. That was a whole fucking point.
Well,
Fuck.
JLD donated $10 saying a song from Mo is my love language.
Oh, well, there you go.
Give him a little tune here, huh? You have some songs.
Which one?
I don't know, man. How many did you do at our live show? Like 6? Pick one of those. Just not the Taylor Swift one because De'Aaron Fox is dead to us.
I know we wanted him to stay, but they couldn't ignore the losses or the team in disarray. And I heard that there's no special play. The team's just playing freely, and now they've won 7 games. I'm seeing shots be made, assisted every game. Smelling salts may be the perfect energy. Is this winning streak lasting through the week? Is the beam okay? We've seen it every day. Oh, Doug, what have you done? You've won 7 straight, and it's been so much fun. Oh, DC, and I'm loving it all on the Deuce and Mo pod. Just having a ball or just talking some ball. It's time for Big Purple Beam. I'm gonna keep on looking at the Big Purple Beam. It's gonna keep on shining on the G1C. I'm gonna keep on looking at the Big Purple Beam. Big Purple Beam. I remember that was really good for my memory.
A couple mess ups, but it was smooth mess ups. Like that's what I like about it.
I remember that off the top of my head.
That was great, man.
Thanks. There you go.
It's a good way to end the pod.
JLD.
You don't know how many times we're gonna have this. You don't know how many more times we're gonna have fog. You don't know how many times we're gonna have songs
I know.
like that.
I know. No, I get it. Like I was ready to sing Beamless Night, and instead we get to end on Big Purple Beam.
We appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to comment on YouTube after the show. Spread the word about our pod. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that bullshit. Appreciate you guys so much. But we gots to go. By the way, you see Sophia Wilson at the game tonight? The soccer player? I didn't know who she was. And I was like, wow.
No. I saw Golden One Center or Kings or someone posted her, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Popular athlete.
Yeah. Stud. All right. We love you guys, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your night. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.